All right, guys, what's up? I'm here with Jay, plant-based athlete. It's been a long time since we did a podcast years ago back in LA.
Yeah, that was like May or June of 2015, I think. It's been a long time.
And we're still out here busting out the message, and our message hasn't really changed.
Nope, especially
Um,
for me.
Yeah, before we start, before I ask you a bunch of questions about what's going on in the vegan community and just your opinion on the lifestyle and what's going on in your life, I want to kiss your ass for 2 seconds because I'm not just doing it for no reason, but I've, watched some of your videos recently, and amongst the world right now of vegans who are on a wide spectrum of some people being totally out of their minds and being woo-woo in a way that I think is really damaging to people online, all the way to this new carnivore spectrum and people just not listening to the science. You have consistently been one of the most genuine, science-based, and simple message people that are putting out information online. And like I saw you said in a recent video, like, who the hell says this besides you? You said, you genuinely said, guys, I don't know why you keep coming to this channel because I say the same thing every time, which is just to eat whole plant foods, listen to the simple science, move your body, and that's kind of it. And that shows how you're not here to just make money on YouTube or get a bunch of viewers. You're just this is so simple, and just do these simple things. And I think I really resonate with your style of just how you're living your lifestyle and how you put yourself on the internet, because I think it's really genuine, and in this crazy time, I really appreciate it.
Thanks, man. Simple doesn't really sell, though.
Exactly.
I just on your topic here, I was watching a few Insta stories this week, and there's a couple females that I follow. I'm not going to get into names. I like them. We're friends online. And I see them. I just see this all the time. People start eating a plant-based diet, everything's fine, and then they get into purity mindset, and they want to get as pure as they can. And I see them starting to do water fast, or this week I'm doing a juice cleanse, whatever. And if you want to do all that shit, that's fine. But when I don't think you realize how much of an influence these people have on young kids' lives, and it's just really dangerous advice that a lot of these people are giving people. They're getting people terrified of normal, healthy foods because they want to try something new, or they think they listen to some woo-woo guru who made a lot of sense to them. But the reality is it's not really the facts or the science or not really any of that, So
yeah. Yesterday I interviewed a friend who just got his master's degree in nutrition, and the title of the interview is going to be something like, "Don't take nutrition advice from social media influencers." And the reason that that's going to be the title is because he was talking about how there's really just 10 or 20 random people online who happen to have a lot of followers who are espousing this information that has nothing to do with the scientific literature, and the scientific literature hasn't changed in so much time. And this whole ex-vegan movement, it's actually something we shouldn't even be talking about, because it's like a dozen people versus the actual nutritionists and doctors and scientists, and the science hasn't changed in the last 3 months. It's just a few people who have a lot of followers who are talking about this, and now we are making it this huge explosion, and people saying that veganism is being debunked because of these last few months. And it's actually psychotic when you think about it. It's just like a few people who have no nutritional background just talking on the internet.
Yeah, it's absurd. And I said this the other day in one of my videos or on my story or something. I don't know anyone in my personal life that is vegan that has any issues. Not one. They're all thriving. Anyone
Yeah.
that I've introduced, my brother now this August will be 6 years vegan for him. His 3 daughters are vegan now. None of them have any issues. They eat like I do. They don't try these fucked up diets. They don't do all these things that cause their gut health to have issues, and then they blame it on a vegan diet where, they weren't even eating a whole food plant-based diet. They were maybe eating for this period of time just fruit or water fasting or eliminating beans or doing whatever silly, stupid shit. And it's like, I don't get so angry across the talk to some of these people, but criminal what they're doing. Because if they have 500,000 followers, you're giving dangerous advice that could really potentially hurt people. Because that's your flavor of the month. I've seen these people change their diets a zillion times. None of these people are going to be carnivore in a year. You and I know that. But they're spreading their bullshit advice to these people. They're trying something out because they fucked up their gut by all the stupid shit they did, and they're trying it out. They're not solving the issue. They're masking a problem. It's like taking a drug. They're eliminating fiber. Whereas if you look at every fucking scientific study on the planet, the more fiber you eat, you decrease your mortality by 20 to 30%. And now they're eliminating something that decreases your mortality by 20 to 30%. It's completely moronic. And because a girl has edited videos and cute, or someone is a good fucking free runner, their advice holds weight. It should hold a fucking ounce of weight. What I talk about on my page isn't my opinion. It's never been my opinion. It's
Absolutely.
This is the scientific evidence. These are the cultures that get 90+% of their calories from plants. Now, do we know a strict 100% vegan diet is the best diet on earth? No, but we know that the more plants you eat, the longer you're going to live. You're going to eliminate your chances of heart disease and cancer. So do we know if it's 90%, 95%, or 100% yet? No, but there's nothing you can't get from plants that you get from animal products,
Dude, you're making me so happy right now, because one of the things that I want to do with these interviews, where I'm bringing on like very rational plant-based eaters that I respect, is that we are not tribal. We are not saying that 100% vegan diet has proof to be more beneficial for longevity than if you eat 10% of your calories from animal products. And we are vegans because we believe that if you eat more plants and have the vast majority of your calories come from plants, that is the science that is showing to prevent these diseases. And the reason that we are 100% plant-based versus 90 or 95, because there's also environmental reasons, there's ethical reasons. But I think when vegans also go out on the internet and say that if you eat 2 or like 1 egg a week, or if you have turkey on Thanksgiving, or if you have a piece of salmon in a month, that's going to dramatically increase your risk of heart disease, that's also not true.
True. I agree. I mean, if you've been eating a standard diet and lots of meat your whole life, you want to eliminate 100% animal products and processed foods and oils to heal your arteries. But if someone's 20 years old, goes on a plant-based diet, and is on a plant-based diet for 6 years, and then once a year they have an animal product, are they going to get heart disease? No, we're not stupid. I'm not going to be an idiot here, but
right.
But
no, this is so important. This is so important because one of the biggest criticisms of these carnivores and ex-vegans is that we are delusional animal rights ethical vegans, and the whole point of this series is to show that you and we are not tribal team vegan. We are simply looking at the science and data, and what the science shows is that a predominantly plant-based diet is, and we're talking just health now, we're not talking ethics or environment, that when you eat a diet high in fiber of colorful, mainly plant foods, that is the best to prevent heart disease, cancer, osteoporosis, Alzheimer's, etc. And I think it's important for people to hear, even ethical vegans like you and I, to share the honest truth that we are not tribal and we're not going against the science. We admit that you can eat a couple animal products a year if you're only interested in health and it's not about the ethics, and that's fine. And I think it's important for us to say that in this time when the carnivores and these ex-vegans are accusing pretty much all vegans of being in denial, that our health is actually really bad and our science is outdated, and we're just so in our ethical realm that we can't admit that our digestion's actually terrible, that our fitness is bad. I mean, I've biked 10,000 miles with a 100-pound bicycle over the last 20 months. You're a jiu-jitsu black belt, I believe. It's just my digestion. I've been vegan 6.5 years. I'm not bullshitting. My digestion is great. My sex drive is great. I still have wet dreams, even though Tim Sheaf did not. Okay, that might be your experience. I'm thriving on this diet, and that's my experience.
Yeah. So everyone said when trolls come on my YouTube and they make comments, they say my vegan ideology. I am an ethical vegan, 1,000%. But my message is whole plant foods. It's not vegan junk food or whatever. A vegan diet can be anything that doesn't include animal products. So my story real quick, I'll be 46 next month. I went vegan, I went plant-based because of the science. And, I started, my dad died, I wasn't close to my dad, but nonetheless, he died of a heart attack at 66. One of my high school friends who I played sports with had a stroke at like 38. And a lot of people in my family, they all die young. They all have heart attacks or cancer in their 50s, 60s, early 70s. So I didn't want to be another statistic. I didn't know any better. I saw the science. I gathered more information. I read some books. I took T. Colin Campbell's course. And from that information, I went whole foods plant-based, and I stopped eating animal products. Now, when you do that, we all love fucking animals. Everyone does, unless you're literally a psychopath. It clicked. When you stop consuming the dead flesh, you just don't want to contribute to that anymore. And there's no need that a sentient being needs to die when I can get everything I need from plants. And number two, the environment's a fucking disaster. We're ruining it. I was just watching that new documentary on Netflix, One Planet, and they're talking about a lot of the climate change that's happened in the last, 50 years. It's scary. They talked about Chernobyl with the nuclear explosion 10 or 20 years ago, and how humans got out of there. It's supposed to be out of there for 20,000 years. Now, just in 10 years, there's literally forests and thousands of different animals in there, and wolves have come back to the area, and it's just like completely thriving with animals. So for so many reasons, it makes sense to be vegan, whether you care about your health or not. So yes, I'm vegan for the animals and I'm vegan for the planet, but I eat a whole food plant-based diet because that's what the science is showing to be if our number one killer is heart disease, why would you eat anything but a proven diet that has been shown to halt and reverse it?
So here's where I want to stop you and talk, because this conversation is kind of focused on like the new, just what's happening with this ex-vegan stuff is how do we communicate to these carnivore, and I guess let's be more specific. I'm talking about people like Drew Morgan and Elise Raw Alignment, who are putting out new information and influencing people to start eating their diet. And I should preface it as well. You said that you don't know anyone in your actual personal life who is struggling. All these people are actually my personal friends. I've known Elise for years. We have talked for probably hundreds of hours face to face. She's a personal friend of mine. We've hung out in Hawaii. We've hung out in New York. We started our YouTube channels at a similar time. Drew is a personal friend of mine, and they're still my personal friends. Like, we are, like, this is no hate. This is just, we're trying to figure out what is right. And the reason that I'm so passionate about this, and I think you're so passionate about this, is these are people that are influencing tens of thousands of young people, and that is a serious issue. And so that's why, we're talking about it. But, these people are my friends. And how do we talk to them, because I've been going back and forth with my buddy Drew Morgan, who, by the way, is the catalyst for this whole YouTuber carnivore thing. Drew started eating meat about a year ago. Drew is who influenced Elise to start eating this diet. And what they say to me is that when I say all of the proven science shows that these foods high in saturated fat, high in dietary cholesterol, do increase risk of heart disease, they say that that is outdated, biased science. What do you say to that?
How's it biased?
Again, I don't know. And how is it outdated? Because it's just the scientific method. I think at this point, we literally have to start treating these people like flat earthers. It's just, we present real. Yeah.
I watched Elise. I watched like half of one video. I'm like, a year ago, I'm like, this chick's fucking wacko. No offense. I know she's your friend, but like, she's like trying to live off just fruit, nothing else. Super extreme diet, and you wonder why you run into fucking issues. It's absurd. Look, whether it be narcissism, whether it be complete delusion, whether it be the feeling of wanting to be important, or whether it just be they truly believe this crap, how is it outdated? Because one fucking shitty study in cholesterol like 4 years ago that's been debunked. Like, other than that, the science is clear. It hasn't changed, you know? It has, if anything, it's gotten more and more clear.
Absolutely. I mean, it is. When you have countries starting to subsidize less animal products in Europe, and you're having big institutions like, sorry, I don't remember the name, but something institution, I don't know, but one of the biggest like international think tanks on nutrition, you can look, and the trend is moving over the last 20, 30 years, where more mainstream, unbiased, having nothing to do with ethical nutritional organizations are starting to say that it is completely viable for all stages of life, pregnancy, infancy, adulthood, teenage, that a plant-based diet is adequate if you are eating a sufficient plant-based diet. Now, I want to keep it as real as possible. Yes, I think there is a trend with these people like Evan Rock and Elise, who are pretty body image obsessed, have done some extreme diets like fruit diets, and Evan Rock was eating one meal a day for over a year and eating like only, you know, just leafy greens and bananas and stuff like that, which, you know, it's just, there are trends to these extreme diets. But Elise, you know, while she was still vegan about 2 years ago, was hiking the Appalachian Trail, and she was eating vegan cheese and potatoes and things that are more of like a normal-ish vegan diet. So she has not been 100% weirdly restrictive. And this is where I'm still like, I have one foot in kind of another space, in that these people clearly were struggling. You and I haven't struggled. We're being honest. But these people were struggling with things that they're not struggling anymore with animal products. And I think there are many other... Here, go on.
Actually, because they're actually eating sufficient calories now. Do you know how fucking hard it is to get enough calories from just fruit, especially if you're an active person? It's like,
hey,
you know what I mean?
I did, because I actually did it for 9 full months. I was a fruitarian after going to the Woodstock Fruit Festival in 2014, my first year, and I still was eating a little nuts and seeds, like raw cashews or chia seeds, but very, very low. And I actually have documented evidence on my YouTube channel of being a raw vegan fruitarian for 9 months, lifting weights, and I consistently was gaining weight and muscle. So I'm not saying that you can't be a fruitarian, but I don't know. If you're a fruitarian and not eating sufficient calories, that combination I can see can be disastrous.
Exactly. Look, we don't know. Look, I can give an example of all these people. For years, they say they felt amazing. And now they're saying they didn't, and they feel amazing on this diet. We don't know what they eat on a daily basis. We don't know what they're saying is true. Radhan was clearly promoting veganism for months and wasn't vegan. We don't know what they're doing on a daily basis. But what we do know is that when Caldwell Esselstyn runs a study of 177 people and 99.4% of them halt and reverse their heart disease, we know that for a fact, right? I don't give a shit what 20-year-old girl says on YouTube.
Right.
I don't believe.
It's like your choice. Do you want anecdotal information of someone that you don't actually factually know the data of what they're doing, or do you want comprehensive studies from some of the smartest nutritional experts in the world? That's your choice.
Exactly. So I can be harsh, and somebody at your channel I'll probably be a little too blunt for some of your followers, but
no, dude, I keep it as real as fuck. Be blunt as fuck. I don't care about views. I don't care about subscribers. Keep it real.
These people are dumb as fuck, man. Like, I'm sorry. Like, I'm 46 years old. Like, what the fuck do you know? You're 20 years old. You've never reversed heart disease. You never have done clinical data. You don't know how to read scientific papers like Dr. Garth Davis does. You don't know any of this shit.
Whoever.
Exactly. And like Esselstyn, he's biased. How the fuck is he biased? He grew up on a fucking dairy farm. And he was doing studies, I forget in what country, and when they went over to give these kids more protein, and he found out that the ones getting the most protein were the sickest, and then they did studies, and they showed that casein, which is the main protein in cow's milk, causes cancer, and they did studies where they introduced casein, and they decreased it, 20% casein, 5%, and it would literally turn on and off cancer growth, and the evidence was so clear to him that this is Steve Colin Campbell, I'm sorry, not Esselstyn. The evidence was so clear to him that he did more research, and then he met Caldwell Esselstyn, and they talked, and it's like so much data. Like, I don't understand how people can ignore it. It's like Dr. Garth Davis has post lately on his YouTube where his mind is just blown. Like, people do not believe in science. It's like,
and I've been hearing some conspiracy theories that I also want to debunk, of people saying, oh, Elise is doing it just to make money. Elise is doing it because she's being paid off by the meat industry. That's also stupid. I think this is the problem. There were vegans who are eating a suboptimal diet, whether it was not getting enough nutrients because of caloric restriction, or maybe even some environmental reasons, or something happened where their health started to fail. And then, because of so many social media influencers like Joe Rogan, which we can't deny is the #1 media empire of the entire world in terms of views. I love Joe Rogan. I listen to his podcast all the time. He's a great entertainer. But he has had an influence on young people, bringing on health experts and trying to debunk a plant-based diet on behalf of his views. And he's also not a nutrition expert. He's a freaking martial arts expert and comedian. But I think that these people who are struggling with veganism for one reason or another, or I don't even want to blame it on veganism, just struggling with their health, and I feel compassion for them because clearly I don't think they're lying. Elise said she had these terrible symptoms of congestion and brain fog. Again, things that I have not experienced on my healthy, balanced, plant-based diet of mainly whole foods, which is what the science and what we promote. So I acknowledge...
So pure and woo-woo though, bro. Like, I doubt she took B12. I doubt she was taking
DHA.
Yeah, she was getting DHA in every day.
No, you're right. You're right.
I doubt she was eating legumes. I doubt she was eating significant calories. I'm sure she did water. I'm sure she went on juice only. It's fucking clear as day to me. Like, Tim Sheep, I don't eat food for 35 days. I drink my own fucking piss.
Yeah, you're fucking right. I don't know what to say. Like, these people are awesome, but you're right. They all have these crazy traits.
Yeah, they're not. None of them eat like me. None of them eat like. I watched 2 interviews this week from 2 doctors, and I highly recommend you guys watch them. On Plant-Based News' channel, they had a YouTube post with Dr. Caldwell Esselstyn, who's 84 years old and has been plant-based for 34 years. And then they Mark Bell's podcast, some powerlifter.
Dude, I listened to that yesterday. Furman dropped some knowledge.
Furman dropped so many bombs. You
Oh
know?
my God, it was epic.
Yeah, and I think some kid was asking me on YouTube yesterday, on Instagram stories in my DMs. He's like, "Which doctor do you?" I'm like, "Dude, stop." This is to the point I've gotten with people. I'm pretty blunt now. When people ask, I'm like, "Stop, stop, but stop picking an ideology. Stop picking one person. All these doctors, whether you want to do a Furman style or a McDougall style, all these doctors just recommend whole food, plant-based diets. If you want to pick apart and you want to like one of them more than others because you like their personality, whatever, that's fine. But my message is a little bit of all of them. You know, I think that I love McDougall, but I think he's a little off with too low fat. I love Furman, but I don't see a problem with whole grains. You know what I mean? Like, so I think you just need to focus. And I did a video yesterday on my channel, my YouTube based athlete, for those of you guys watching. I did a video yesterday of a 7+ year plant-based athlete, something that's the type. And I talked about just focus on getting every single day, eating some fruit, eating some whole grains, eating some legumes. I eat like a can a day of either lentils, beans, or chickpeas. Eating some vegetables, getting your greens in, and eating some whole food fats. I use my fats as condiments in my meals. I probably take in 15 to 18% of my calories from fat. It's still low fat. And I take a B12 supplement, and I take a vegan DHA now, which I didn't for years, and I didn't experience any issues. But it's like I talked about it yesterday as an insurance policy. What if I'm not converting to ALL to
Absolutely.
DHA? I don't want to deal with any brain issues, so I'll take the insurance policy and I'll spend.
And this is important for people who say, well, there's proof right there. If you need an insurance policy on your diet, you're clearly not getting enough nutrition or it's not a proper diet. And let me debunk that. It's so simple. Okay, you can make the choice. Do you want to get your DHA and essential fatty acids through things like salmon and eggs, which also in that package are high in cholesterol, have heavy metals, and are high in saturated fat, which are also linked in heart disease? Or would you like to eat the diet that is preventative of all those chronic diseases and take a little plant-based supplement? Again, that is your choice.
Exactly. The average lifespan in Paleolithic era was 29 years old. Do you want to live longer? Great. And the point is, I've never met one person that said, well, your diet isn't great because you need to supplement. Every single one of these people take protein powder. They take fucking all these other supplements too. You know what I mean?
And by the way, if anyone is eating meat from a grocery store, there is a high likelihood that those animals were fed tons of supplements, and so you are getting a lot of those nutrients through supplements, but through the animal flesh instead of taking it through a pill as well.
And if you're eating a standard American diet, or you're eating even a somewhat healthy American diet,
you're eating fortified foods all day, every day.
What I was going to say, you're eating fortified food. If you eat a whole grain cereal every morning that's fortified, guess what? With B12, with niacin, all this other shit. So they're full of shit, you know?
Yeah, man, it's becoming more clear as I'm like talking about this with people like you. It really is bullshit, man.
Yeah, sure. Do you want to live to your 29 or do you want to live to your 100? Because all the science is saying the more plants you eat, specifically all the whole plant food groups, studies show that legume consumption, for every 20 grams eaten, your mortality increases 8%. You know what I mean? Your longevity, increases 8% across the board in every culture ever studied. And then you got people, well, there's lectins and who gives a fuck?
Lectins get cooked out of legumes when you cook them. It's not a thing. There's no such thing as an anti-nutrient like a lectin. Those disappear when you put heat to your legumes.
I just don't understand why anyone, you can love some, I like watching some certain YouTube channels or something. It's fun for me to watch, but does that mean they're the authority on nutrition or whatever? No.
Listen, this is what it is, man. You and I probably went vegan because we wanted a big lifestyle change. It's exciting, and we got into health, and we looked into the science, and this is what it shows us. And it's exciting when you go from living a certain way and then making a big change. I think a lot of these people were struggling in some way, which I think could have been fixed through a more moderate, whole food, plant-based, high in legume, high in greens, high in fruits, sufficient fats. Again, all the things that we're saying. Once in a while, going out and having a frickin' veggie burger once in a while. You know, no, find me an ex-vegan who eats like you and I, is physically active, doesn't believe in fucking astrology or drinking your own piss, and goes out and eats a veggie burger once in a while. Those aren't the ex-vegans.
Exactly. I don't know any in my personal life, you know. So
yeah.
look, the reality, the way I eat, we live in a world where your attention span, like half the people have probably turned off this video right now.